Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Well, it is a beautiful day out here, so I thought I'd do a quick video talking to you all about what's about to come. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's by the way, it's a crisp 36 degrees outside. This is beautiful. 36 degrees in Alaska is like spring. All right, so it's a beautiful day, and I'm very happy that we have nice blue skies. But what the IMF just admitted to, ladies and gentlemen, should have everyone rushing to the bank, getting their money out, and buying stuff with it. And before I go over that with you all, by the way, I'm going to leave a link to the article that I'm referencing to in a pinned comment, all right, so that you can all go and revisit it and take a look at it for yourself. I thought I'd change it up today since it's so nice outside. I thought I'd come outside and do a quick video out here without being in front of my computer reading off of an article, which I really like to do, by the way. But what they just did should have everyone rushing to the stores. Let me just give you a scenario, or not even a scenario, but something that's occurred throughout history all the time whenever this happens. Whenever a people start to lose confidence in their currency, whatever currency it may be, what do? The first thing they do is they try to exchange that currency for real stuff, for something that's tangible, that has value, that you can hold. Okay, that's what they do. And then what does that do? That creates a delta in the system, or that creates a shortage in the system. And what happens when there's less of something in the system that many people want? Prices go up. So it's like a self-eating snake. It's like a snake eating its own tail. Eventually it's going to collapse. Eventually it's going to eat itself up and it's gone. So what's going to happen is when the masses wake up and they realize that what the IMF just admitted to is true, they're going to do just that. Well, right now, ladies and gentlemen, the masses are not awake. They're too busy watching trials, court trials. They're too busy seeing if Elon Musk is going to free Twitter, right, from censorship. They're too busy just living their lives trying to keep their heads above water. So right now, the masses are not awake. And those are the people that are going to suffer the most when hyperinflation finally takes hold, because it will. It is a mathematical certainty. The IMF just admitted that, quote unquote, right? I don't want to quote it because I'm not looking at it right now, but yes, we think that we maybe have printed too much money. Are you kidding me? The IMF is just now going out there and saying, I think we may have printed too much money. And what they mean by we is the central banks, that they did not consider the first, second, third order effects of all of the money printing that's going on. And that they did not consider with all of the PhDs that they have working for them. These people, ladies and gentlemen, are educated. They are very highly educated. They know exactly what they are doing. Now, educated does not correlate with smart or intelligent, but they are very highly educated. You can't just be a high school graduate and go work for the IMF or go work for a central bank. You have to have credentials, but what kind of credentials? You know, I'll let you answer that question for yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll go back to saying that we are going to have a resource problem, and this is a perfect example of that. When the masses realize that there is so much money in the system, and that from day to day, prices on things that they need to live is just going to continue to go up, they're going to go out there and buy everything that they can. Think about it. Let's say if you wanted to buy a set of tires, for example, and you knew for a fact that in a week, that exact same set of tires that you can buy today for $100 a tire, that in 1 week it's going to cost you $125 a tire. Would you buy it today, or wait a week so that you can pay an additional $100 for 4 tires? Most people, I would say, would buy it right now because they're like, well, I'm going to get the exact same thing for $400 today. Why would I wait a week and pay $500 for the exact same thing? When people realize this, when they wake up to this fact, there is going to be a resource problem. There's going to be so much money compared to the amount of goods in the system that hyperinflation will take place. And people will panic, and they will go out there, drain their bank accounts, and try to get everything that they possibly can that is of tangible value, that has value to their lives. So you that are in the know, you that know what's coming down the line, this is the time that you prepare for that. Many people prepare for it in different ways. Some people prepare for it by putting money to the side because they know that eventually we will have a deflationary event before we have a hyperinflationary event. What do I mean by a deflationary event? Take a look at the dollar's strength, the Dixie, DXY. Right now, it's really high. I think the last time I saw it was 103, which is really high. I mean, it's just shooting straight up. I'll try to leave a picture of a chart of the dollar, what it looks like for the last several months. It's just shooting straight up. It's like a hockey puck. Well, the reason for this is not because the dollar has more strength. I mean, do you really think that it has more strength? When you go to the store, do things cost you more dollars or less dollars? They cost you more dollars, ladies and gentlemen. It has no more strength in relations to what we can purchase here in the United States, who are the issuers of the U.S. Federal Reserve note. But it has more strength in relation to the other currencies around the world that the dollar is compared to. That's the only reason why the dollar is going up. It's because the other currencies that the dollar is compared to are going down. Maybe because they're printing a lot more than we are, or for whatever reason, okay? I'm not here for the reason. I'm here for the outcome, right? The outcome of this is not going to be good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the chickens are coming home to roost. And the people that are not paying attention, they are going to pay the price. I stated before that there's going to be a lot of pain, a lot of anger, and more than anything else, there will be a lot of sorrow. Because when governments are up against the wall, they take you to war. Why? Because they have to keep all of these industries, corporations, and themselves going. The only way they can do that, ladies and gentlemen, is by continuing to have the dollar as the de facto world reserve currency. And that is going away. The question is when it goes away, are you going to be ready? It's happened before and it will happen again. It is all a cycle. It is part of the human cycle, of the cycle of how long countries last. It is all part of a cycle, ladies and gentlemen. So are you paying attention? I'm not telling you what to do. But what I'm concentrating on, ladies and gentlemen, is prepping as much as I can. Getting as many of those things that I know that I'm going to need in the future now, before my money becomes worthless. Because the IMF pretty much just told you that your money is worthless. That they just print it out of nowhere and then steal whatever little value is left in the dollars that you work for every day. They steal that value, or a portion of it, to go ahead and transfer it over to the dollars that they just printed. It's the biggest scam in the history of mankind. It is a way to enslave a population without the majority of the population knowing that it is being enslaved. So wake up and make sure that you are doing what you need to do in order to survive the biggest crisis that has ever occurred in the history of mankind. I am not being hyperbolic when I say this. When I say that this is going to be the biggest crisis, when the dollar finally falls and all of these countries that own debt in dollars, dollar-denominated debts, start defaulting left and right, there's not going to be enough resources. Why? Because we've already used those resources. We've stolen it from the future so that we can have a high standard of living today. Well, that is coming to an end. So prepare. Thank you very much for joining in. I hope you got something out of this, ladies and gentlemen. I felt compelled to do this video because it's important to me that those that are in the know, those that are actually looking out to what's happening instead of just living in a normalcy bias, have the tools that they need in order to make it through this crisis. Because the crisis will end eventually. And when it does end, there has to be good people to be able to lead on the other side. And I hope that one of those people is you. Remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. I'm Alaska Prepper. I'm out.